I'm Marion Quirk, Director of the Consumer Protection Unit at the Delaware Department of Justice. Thank you for joining us for session number 1 of our 10-part series on the top 10 scams in Delaware. During this session, our panelists will be discussing identity theft. Our first speaker is Ben Lindemann. He's a special agent with the FBI in Wilmington, Delaware. Agent Lindemann works on the white-collar squad investigating financial crimes, healthcare fraud, fraud against the government, and civil rights violations. Prior to joining the FBI, Agent Lindemann worked as a CPA. We also have with us today Alan Ratchko. Alan is our Chief Special Investigator in the Delaware Department of Justice Consumer Protection Unit. Chief Investigator Ratchko investigates violations of Delaware's Consumer Protection Act. He oversees our identity theft passport program, and he's also a member of our outreach committee and conducts presentations through the state to different communities and organizations. Prior to joining the Delaware Department of Justice, Chief Investigator Rachko was a police officer with the Dover Police Department, and he retired at the rank of lieutenant in June of 2013.
Yes, thank you, Marion. My name is Ben Lindemann. Again, I'm a special agent with the FBI office in Wilmington, Delaware. And so first, I'm just going to introduce the topic. So what is identity theft? Identity theft is when a criminal uses your identity in a crime or a fraudulent act. Examples include a criminal using your social security number, your date of birth, your full name, your address, in order to do something such as set up a credit card account in your name or set up a utility bill payment in your name. So why does this hurt you? This hurts you because the criminal can then use that credit card to make purchases in your name. This will then affect your credit report, making you liable for the bill. Some other examples or some other stories of how criminals can use your identity are in celebrity scams. I've worked a couple of celebrity scams with the Social Security Administration where individuals or criminal actors have used celebrities' information to sign up for a Social Security account and get the benefits of a celebrity. Now, how do criminals obtain your data? Really, a number of ways. And unfortunately, many of us make it all too easy for these criminals. Examples of how criminals can get your data include from your social media accounts. On your Facebook account, for example, do you put your full name? Do you put your date of birth, including your birth year? Now, I understand why everybody likes to put their date of birth on Facebook so they can get those nice birthday messages, but maybe you may want to hide your birth year and just allow the actual day to be visible. Another way criminal actors get your information are from spoofing scams. These include people sending you information through emails or through phone calls, requesting you to update your account password, your social security number, your date of birth. These will also often be in the form of emails pretending to be from your bank or from your utility provider asking you to update your information. Now, the next logical question you may be asking yourself is, how do you protect yourself? There are many ways that you can help protect yourself from becoming a victim of identity theft. These include doing easy things such as making sure you shred documents with your personal information on them. How often do you throw out a bill or maybe a tax document that may include your full name, your address, possibly your date of birth, maybe even your full or last 4 digits of your social security number? Criminals will go through your trash or through everyone's trash to look for this information. Make it more difficult for the criminals by shredding your information before placing it in the trash or the recycling. Also, be alert to impersonation schemes. Be wary of emails or text messages and phone calls that are from people pretending to be your bank or your utility provider. Make sure to never click through links on your email account. Instead, go to the actual website for your bank or for your utility provider, for example, before logging in. And never give out your social security number, your date of birth, or other information over the phone unless you're absolutely sure who you're talking to and why they need that information. Next, you can protect yourself by checking your credit report each year. There's a website that the government offers to people where you can check your credit report once per year. That website is annualcreditreport.com. Through this website, you can check your credit report through the 3 credit reporting agencies: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Lastly, if you unfortunately become the victim of identity theft, make sure to report it. To report the information federally or to the FBI, you can use the website ic3.gov. That stands for the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Here you just fill out an easy form with all the information of what happened and what crime occurred. This information will then flow to investigators who can help link it up to see if other people have fallen victim to similar scams and track different trends that are happening nationally. Next up, we will have Alan Ratchko, Special Investigator with the state of Delaware.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you, Marion. It's a pleasure to be here. Hey, I want to talk to you about this too, but on a different end. What I want to reassure everyone is that if your identity is stolen, it can be repaired. It's not the end of the world. You'll be able to recover from this. And when you look nationally, the Federal Trade Commission has reported approximately 376,000 people have been the victim of identity theft in 2020, with over a $40 million loss. And in Delaware, just last year, there was over 1,300 people who have reported identity theft and tens of thousands of dollars in loss. Like I said, you can recover from this. And if you know you are the victim of identity theft, then what you should do is collect all the documents related to that fraud. You will collect notices from a collection agency, any bills from a fraudulent credit card company or a phone company or any company or bank that's contacting you. You'll keep all that together and you'll report it to the police. You'll report it to the police jurisdiction that has jurisdiction over your residence. So if you live in Newcastle County, it's going to be county police. In the city of Dover, it'll be the Dover police. And anyone who's in any outlying area, in Sussex or Kent County, then it will be the state police. But once you report it to them, they will also give you information to contact the Attorney General's office in reference to an identity theft passport. We have what's called an identity theft passport, and it helps you, if you are the victim of this, and helps you gain your identity back. What it is, it's a letter with the Attorney General's heading on it. It states you've been the victim of identity theft and helps you. You'll make copies of it. You'll send it out to the creditors or anyone that you need to. It also has a wallet-sized laminate card with your driver's license photo on it, because sometimes someone who stole your ID might have used it for a crime. They might have used it when they got a ticket, and then that is listed as being wanted for you. You'll be able to show that to the police officer, and it'll help you with that. You'll show it to them, and it'll slow things down. They'll be able to look at it a little different and help you from a lot of headaches that would come up with that. And if you take the corrective measures laid out in the instructions, it should be a lot less stressful than it already is. It is a problem, but it'll help you deal with this in a good, organized way. Also on our website, you'll be able to find the application for our identity theft passport, and it'll also give you instructions on contacting all the different creditors and the credit bureaus, because you'll want to put freezes and alerts through the 3 credit bureaus, and then you'll be notified of that. And once the application is approved, it usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks, and sometimes it could take a little bit longer before you get that. But as you're going through that process and we have your application, you'll be talking either to me or another investigator that'll be able to help you and guide you through the process, so you won't be going it alone. So we're there for you, and we'll be able to help you with this. And Marion, any questions?
And what are your best tips for consumers?
Yes, so So some of my best tips I went over before a little bit, but to reiterate them, it includes protecting your information first and foremost. Easy ways to protect your information are to make sure you shred your documents with your personal information before throwing them out. Again, criminals will go through your trash to try to obtain your information. Also be wary of impersonation schemes. Don't just click through links on your email addresses. Don't just give out information readily over the phone. Make sure you understand who you are dealing with and why they are requesting your information before giving it up.
Thank you, Ben. Alan, what are your best tips for consumers?
Well, what everyone should do is set up alerts on the accounts that they have, meaning once there's a certain threshold amount that's either charged or withdrawn from your accounts, you'll get an alert on your phone, you'll get a text alert, or you'll get an email. So you'll know that if that's not you, you'll start looking into that if there's any suspicious charges. You should also look at your accounts regularly, not just wait for them to come through the mail and look at them, but you should look at them online. And that way you get familiar with the correct way to go into your banks and log on to your account. Because if you get an email where someone says, hey, there's a problem with your account, you don't click on that. You'll go back and log on your regular way and look at those accounts. And you'll also want, as reported earlier by Ben, you want to check your credit report annually. Your credit report is different than your credit score. You'll have your credit score on your credit cards, and you will want to watch that to make sure that if that drops drastically for some unknown reason, maybe there's a bill out there you don't know about that there's a collection agency trying to get, and you'll want to look into it. But get your credit report, and it shows everything that you ever had, everything you applied for, and you want to make sure that all of it is yours and there's no fraudulent activity on that. Thanks, Marion.
Thanks, Ben and Alan. Those are very helpful tips. Ben, what do the fraudsters do with your personal information after it's stolen?
Yes, they can do a variety of different things, including setting up various accounts to pay their own bills with your information. They can either set up credit cards in your name, they can open up utility bills in your name, and they can also apply for benefits in your name, such as from Social Security Administration, or another common scheme during the COVID pandemic is applying for unemployment benefits in your name. So the fraudsters will benefit using your identity in obtaining all of your benefits that you have worked hard for.
Now, Alan, how do you know if your identity has been stolen?
Well, sometimes it takes a little while. And what I've found is there's several ways. A lot of times people will receive notice in the mail from a collections agency or a credit card company or a phone company stating that you have accounts with them and you failed to pay on these accounts. And you're like, wait, that's not me. And that's where you get the first notice of this and you start the process. And that's where you'll call them and you'll go to the police. You could also get a text alert on your phone advising you if you have the alert set up, or with your checking accounts. You have to watch this regularly to stay up on it. But a lot of it comes late. It comes in a letter to you because you have the last known address, and eventually the bills will come back to you. So you have to be aware of that. And if it comes in, don't think it's junk mail. At least open it up first and take a look at it and see if it is a fraudulent account that you have to start fixing right away.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And a special thank you to Ben and the FBI. Please tune in for our next segment today, covering online shopping scams, 2 p.m. right back here on Facebook. Thanks again. Stay safe.